What's up, Rockstars? Welcome to my first monthly video for 3D printing. If you are new here, welcome, and if not, if you are from my board game industry coverage that I typically do every single month, then you'll feel right at home here. This is the exact same style. Thank you to my channel sponsor Into the AM. As a company that believes hard work and a great product is a proper way to conduct business, I am delighted to have them as part of the channel. They have some of the coolest graphic t-shirts around and an absolute best fit and feel that has continually exceeded my expectations. With new shirts arriving all the time and other products like boxers, hats, and even a monthly shirt club, I wholeheartedly recommend them to you. Check out the link in my description of this video for an exclusive 10% off everything they sell. As always, a huge shout out to my patrons and YouTube members. It is through their financial support month in and month out that this channel is possible. It frees me up to be able to cover exactly what I want, when I want to do it, and that freedom is all thanks to them, so thank you so much. If you'd like to join them, there's a link down below. You guys are truly making this possible. Thank you so much. And with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump right in. Now, if you are new, just know that there are like hundreds of 3D print Patreon tribes, Kickstarter campaigns, all this stuff is every single month. And I am not trying to cover all of that. That would get really boring as well because, in my opinion, not all of them are super cool. That being said, there are a lot that are cool. So this is a curated list. This is something I'm looking at. And as I do this work, as I do this investigation, I share the things that I think are cool that you might want to see. This is the exact same thing I do for the board game industry, especially around Kickstarters, where I kind of look at what's coming up and then figure out what I'm interested in, get some more information, and then share it with my viewers. So I wanted to do the same thing here, as I have a 3D printer, several 3D printers, and I print all the time for various things, whether it's just miniature painting, whether it's Warhammer. There's a wide variety of reasons why I might print something. And if nothing else, to appreciate some cool miniatures. So that's what I'll be sharing today with you guys. If there is something that I didn't cover today, though, let me know if you're interested in it, and I can look into covering that as well in the next video. This goal here is to show you what's coming up. If you're anything like me, you don't just click, subscribe or follow or back or whatever, and then just forget about it and let it ride for a year. Instead, you actually look at, what are you offering me this month? What are you offering me this month? Am I interested in this theme? Am I interested in this theme? That is kind of how I operate. And if you are too, then this might be helpful for you. Without further delay, though, let's go ahead and jump right in. The only thing I'm going to allude to is that I am coming out with a very big video that covers a whole bunch of tribes and Patreons for 3D printing, and I'm actually working with a lot of the sculptors and artists that are doing this to actually show you some printed off miniatures, so be on the lookout for that as well. This one is obviously, everybody's heard this, Titan Forge. I'm going to have the wide range from Titan Forge to stuff that has like 3 backers in it, so there's going to be a lot of range here. They have a very cool February list. However, they didn't really update their tribes view very much, so we're going to go on and hop over to the Patreon one where you can see the miniatures in a little bit, well, you can just see more of them, period. So as you can see, there's quite a bit. Very cool. Anytime, they're calling it red leaf elves, but really I really dig the forest elf kind of look. You get the different types. There's the forest elf, the light elf, right? There's, just depends on kind of the circumstance, the high elves even. I mean, it depends on the world you're in, but this stuff is my jam. Like, this is really cool stuff. They did a great job here. This looks fantastic. It really does. What I like about this is I don't have anything else like this, right? Anytime I can get stuff that is so different from the normal stuff that I get kind of excited. The branch leaf wings, just again, super cool. I'm all about that. That seems really cool. This guy here is just awesome. They did a really good job making unique sculpts that are dynamic, and I appreciate that. Also, it has a wolf. I love wolves, so you instantly get me with the wolf. That's just how it is. You have the rank and file kind of troops that you would get of various, combat professions, different skill sets, stuff like that. Very cool February release, so for sure. Next up, we also have DM Stash, or Dungeon Master Stash. They have some very cool stuff too. How many They got 128 subscribers on Tribes at least, so definitely they're going to end up with more over time. That's for sure. Now this, and notice they're even showing the Patreon logo here. That's kind of their main thing. I'm doing the Tribes because I do prefer it more as a platform for 3D printing, and so I'll kind of go there by default and then swap over to Patreon if need be. Don't need to here though. They got a whole bunch of cool stuff. As you can see, they come out with, as you would think, with a Dungeon Master stash, stat blocks for you to use. Then you have all sorts of very cool shapeshifters and elementals and, you know, just demons and all sorts of stuff available here. Very, very cool. This is Jasper, by the way. Just love the basing that they do in a lot of these, because I think it kind of differentiates it a lot, which is nice. And yeah, just some like she's like freaking bound and stuff. She's about to be sacrificed. Very cool this style here. I feel I like it. I dig it. And you get multi-arm dude as well. Okay, moving on, we also have Heroes and Beasts. This is a cool one. The reason I like this and why it's kind of unique, only 31 on Tribes here, is because of this. So they actually have this really cool magnet system where you can essentially have like the base miniature here, right? This is kind of like the main body, and then you can sub. You see, you get different heads, you get different chests, you get different legs, you get, you know, just different weapons, different arms, which is very cool. It means you can kind of customize it as you see fit, which is nice, because sometimes you'll see a miniature and you're like, oh, that's super cool, but well, it's not the coolest thing ever. Like, I would like it to be a little bit different for whatever reason. Well, he probably offers the option here. Moving right along, we also have Crippled God Foundry. Just a cool name, if nothing else, right? They have a very cool looking February as well. They have this like Mountain War bone and flesh thing. Look at that huge one there. My goodness. I mean, these are just gigantic, you know, like just like very thick ogreish kind of people. But I love, like, the smoke looks freaking cool. Love it. Love the ammo they're carrying there. They just have a big scale that I really appreciate about them. They're much thicker. I don't have a lot of minis that are just that thick, if that makes sense. They got like the mutant ones and stuff like that. They got a wide range of guys that just look really, really cool, that help sell the kind of tribe thing. They do busts as well. I always appreciate busts as a painter. That's always fun. Ugh, this guy freaking stabbed it, or like strapped onto him and stuff like that. A lot of dwarf kind of stuff you'll see throughout this. Just very, very cool minis indeed. I think so anyway. Again, this is for February. Now we also have Bestarium Miniatures, my wife's favorite, I think, just because they're so dark, they're so gnarly. No different here. Look at this thing. Look at the people in the mouth, and then of course the big face there, and it's just gross and disgusting and hardcore. They got all the like tribes people that you're kind of more used to seeing, I think, from them. But we also have some fur pelts and, you know, kind of horns and bones and stuff like that. This dude being like ridden here is pretty cool. I dig that as well. That's super fun. A lot of cool minis here for sure. Again, brutal, violent, savage. These guys you don't want to be fighting. They are not like, look at this poor dude. Like, again, it's just, these are just gnarly dudes. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Just completely violent. And yeah, super cool as well. Okay, next up we have Flesh of Gods. Again, these names are just cool. That's just all there is. The Cursed Swords is going to be the February release. As you can see, quite a few busts, and they're like full busts, like whole torso busts. Some people do it with no arms, some people do it with arms, but it's still like chest up. So these guys typically do pretty much the entire torso, depending on the pose, of course. But as you can see, super cool. Love the flow they have here. Love the basing and the kind of the spell stuff that you see around him. This is a very cool Van Helsing-like guy. I dig the single skull there. Very much appreciate that. I don't even know what the heck this is, but I like his little planks things. That's what stood out to me, is that they're kind of like almost strapped to him, like through bones and stuff, or ropes. Very cool. Just, I can't look at this. I mean, this is just, love it. I love that the bird has the bird cage on the back. That's super cool, in my opinion. A nice twist of what you might expect there. some more regal people. You got some like executioners. You even get some terrain. Everybody loves a dead body, right? I mean, they have the whole gamut here between the bus and the terrain, and then the like very usable like table RPG minis. I really appreciate that. Next up, we have Edge Miniatures. Going off of like just how different they can be. These are like jetback or like a jet like riders here. Like as you can see, they just like ride on these things, and then they have like, you know, different blades and whips and stuff like that. And they're all like Mad Max futuristic, which I really, really dig. This guy, you can't really see him here, but I always thought he was cool. He's like holding up like half a dude. Just cool stuff. Next up, print your monsters. They have some cool ones for February. That being said, you're not going to see a whole bunch of them, but as you can see, they know how to make monsters. They always do. They never disappoint. So you can kind of see them a little bit better here. You can see some of the other stuff you have, including like plants that have come alive. I thought that was a very cool idea. I really like that. Like the plant spider thing. Yeah, that's cool. I dig that one. I really like that. They're like carnivorous plants that come alive. Next up, we have 3D Hexes, and I know I'm moving pretty quick. We got a lot to go over here, and of course, I could just go over even more. They have these floating terrain pieces, which are super cool. Now, they don't have a lot of like empty space for miniatures to stand on, so this is kind of like a decorative thing, but would be super cool on like a wargaming table, or just as a backdrop, or you could even make your main thing being underneath it. Right? And then just have these kind of up above, which I really dig. I love the floating land type stuff, whether it's in, you know, even something like Elder Scrolls or something like that. Just very cool. And as you can see, there's plenty you can just use on the ground as well. So you get a nice mix there. You can kind of see the size, the scale. Like these are big. These are cool. Really like that. Again, different than any other terrain you're going to see in this video. And that's why they earned a spot easily. Clay Cyanide. I'm a personal fan of theirs. They sadly don't have a huge, they're a little bit behind, so they don't have a good look at the February theme. However, they do show some inspiration. This is not their art. This is just what they're deriving it from. And the moment I saw this kind of really high fantasy, kind of juggernaut, you know, thick-plated knight look and feel that they're going for, I'm excited. I love all of these. And anything that looks kind of like these as a miniature, I'm all about. I think it looks awesome. Really, really excited for that. And you can see some of their main stuff. I mean, just always looks great, right? So like they do really good quality stuff. Just sadly can't see them yet. It's a problem with doing these monthly videos. Sometimes people are really on the ball, and sometimes they haven't. You know, they're still fixing January stuff. It just depends. This one, White Werewolf Tavern. Love their stuff. Again, not just because of the wolf, though that definitely got me to click. They have some really, really good busts. They always do hair really nice. I really liked the actual like tight bun one they have here, but of course the flowing hair is always a highlight for me, I think, in their minis. They do it really good. So they got like the swirl stuff, but you can see it's affecting her clothes. It's affecting her hair, which really makes it stand out and really sells it, I believe, too. They have these really cool bases with the like elemental designs. I figured that's useful for a lot of different things. Some cool monsters. I love, by the way, that this is a hand like coming out of the ground that he's like riding. Just very cool. Some little elemental spirits. Just very cool magic users in this one. Very, very neat. This kind of reminded me of like a Wheel of Time Aes Sedai kind of a little bit, which I dig. So that's super cool. Very, very nice. I really enjoy these. So definitely a highlight for me. And of course the big monster. I mean, those are always fun. Okay, Twin Goddess Miniatures. We got some cool ones coming up here. I love how smooth of like the renders are in theirs with the blue. It instantly looks great, but I love it matches the way they design theirs. Like they have some serious stuff, but it's done in a way that I wouldn't say cartoony, but just very approachable. Right, so you have like the arm wrestling, you know, dwarf guy there, and the person asleep. I love that. I think that's awesome. The person that's going to be asleep here soon. You have the waitress and the guy at the bar, and the just very cool to see the variety of people. The hulking wizard guy. There's a whole bunch here that is just really, really nice that I really appreciate. Gives a lot of character, as you can see, and just a very cool look. So I really do like seeing that February release of theirs. I think it's just a fun little set. Okay, next up we have Archvillain Games. Everybody knows them. They're huge. And that's because they do great stuff. Look at this freaking two-headed shark, four-armed, two-legged tail man. All of that, yes, I like all those words. These are super cool. This is called the Trench Blood in the Water, and I can see why there might be some blood. A very cool dragon. You don't always see them underneath the water. Often you'll see like a river dragon or something like that above the water, so it's very cool to see this in the obvious kind of like sunken ground seabed, which is super, super cool to see. I really dig that. We got some good spells, which I appreciate. Some very nice armor that I think matches the look and feel that they're going for here. A lot of Aquaman enemies here by the looks of it. It very much reminds me of that kind of trench, if that makes sense. Just love the mount here. And of course the base, having it almost come out sideways from the base because it's so high. Very, very cool to see. Really appreciate that. Just overall, very, very cool series of minis here that are, again, just different, and I love it. All right, next up, Bite the Bullet. They also do some great stuff. Again, though, just like before, they don't really have a great preview yet, but you can kind of see it's going to be a fox folk thing, which my daughter loves foxes. She adores foxes, and I think would like all of these. They do have her sculpted pretty well. So they actually sculpted that kind of magic swoosh, as you can see, which I think turned out really well. It's got some nice basing. It just, overall, I like the texture of the fur. I think it's going to come out very good for like a fox. Just the soft fur, but not super long or anything like that. Next up, we have Realsteone Miniatures. These guys got 7 people on Tribe. Very, very new. Very cool looking, though. I mean, look at this guy. Yes, looks freaking sweet. And his bust looks amazing. So this is kind of what you get here. And as you can see, the like people falling out of them, like just freaking gnarly nasty. They have some info on like how you would, there's a bust there, it looks cool, how you would include them. They got some stats and stuff like that, which is just great to see that kind of support. So you can really kind of get a sense of this group, this tribe, and kind of what they're all about. Looks cool, and looks like they're doubling down on something they did last month too, so you're kind of getting more of that too. They're really kind of pushing that, which I appreciate. Next up, Miniature Blueprint, 98 subs here, and they have a cheaper option actually. So they're at like what, $4, even $3. There's 4 seats left. Good luck getting those. Very, very cheap. You're getting essentially a focused miniature kind of all the time, and some variability too. So as you can see, you have the dual blades here, which I really appreciate. And I like that one's smaller than the other, just like a samurai would be. Now, it still looks way too long, but you get the point, right? You're supposed to have one that's smaller and then one that's longer. So I do like that. Love the umbrella. Love the facial expression. I always appreciate when there is a facial expression. And yeah, as you can see, you can kind of customize how she looks like a little bit. But just a very cool theme, I thought. And it looks like they focus on that a lot with some really cool minis. Next up, we have Gekko Miniature, 3 subscribers. So yeah, you can definitely get in on this merchant here, which is pretty cheap, by the way, if you are interested in a merchant here. And they don't have any like real big zoom in pictures, but as you can see, these guys look super cool. Like just very neat design. It's also underwater, but they have like Gatling guns and like laser pistols and crap like that, which is like different. And they have like hippo heads and walrus heads and just, I don't even know what's got, like these big mech unit kind of things. Just it looks like a 40k faction from hell. But I dig that. So that definitely is cool too. We're almost to campaigns. We have a few more over here on Patreon, like Cobramode. Again, they're always stand out, and they do great too. As you can see, 7 or 11, and definitely earned here. You can see why they kind of stand out. There's not really a lot else going like this theme-wise, and I love it. This pose, by the way, on her little like kind of still sandals, very, very cool. Yeah, just looks awesome. And then you can see some of their throwback minis that they've had, which are also, again, just great. But I love the like little masks that they're wearing there. I think that's just really, really fun. A cool set of minis that you're not going to really see anywhere else. That's Cobramode's February. Looks awesome. All right, here's another one, Spirit of Resin. They're kind of new too. They actually have a Kickstarter going on as well, but I just wanted to show you real quick, like with their next release here in February, look at the texture that they have. Like, it just looks really cool. Now, they use this like white color for their render that I think actually hides a little bit of the detail. So you can't quite see it as much, but that's just how they've chosen to do it. You can see it a little bit more in like this gray here. Like, just the texture work on here I think is really, really stand out. Like, I really dig that. And again, they look weird and in like a cool way. So I dig that. They got some cheap ones as well. They're just starting out, 24 patrons. So feel free to check them out. There's a link. I should have said this before, down below, by the way, to everything. VoidRealm Minis, another kind of smaller but up and coming one. They give me some huge, like, Bloodborne vibes with all of their stuff. And I mean that in a great way. This is cool. This is the Old Mother. They do this thing where they have like a boss essentially that of the month that has like a series of things where there's like cultists that then transform into like Cthulhu monster kind of thing. And so you might start out kind of smaller and then it gets worse and worse and worse. Oh, it's gross. There's some very cool little things. So you could keep looking at this and keep seeing just very cool stuff. So here's Invasion of the Eye Monsters. This is kind of what they're doing here. Just wild, crazy, wacky, eldritch kind of stuff going on here. It's all just gnarly. It really is. It's just hardcore. You could do a lot of bad boss monsters with that, in a really fun way. Fantastic Plants and Rocks is having a Volume 3 campaign over on My Mini Factory. They have done great, and their other two, actually, they had a ton of terrain. I've printed it out myself. It's very nice, very good theme. You can use them in all sorts of different ways. They come in different sizes and stuff too, so it doesn't really matter what game you're playing. If it looks like it would work, it probably will. You can print it at that size without even doing a whole lot of editing and stuff. Just overall, again, I'm surprised at how much uniqueness they're still getting at Volume 3 because they do so much. And yet all these are unique and different and not something I've seen in their other two, which is always impressive. If you got freaking brain stuff going on, I mean, if you want like evil cultists, if you want, secret cave, if you want alien planet, if you want underwater, like they have anything and everything you could want here. Just really, really well done. They always do a good job in the campaigns on that. So I was excited to see Volume 3. Next up, we have Lost Souls coming out soon. This is by Monolith Arts, which do some very cool ones. I have a better picture here of some of the guys for you, so you can kind of see what's going on here. Again, looks super cool. Passes the cool factor test, in my opinion. I really like this one. Love the armor sets, love the different weapons, love the different poses. Just overall, a very, very cool set here. And I can't wait to see more if this is all they've shown so far. And so Asgard Rising has one that's still going on for like another 43 days. A lot of these like go on for forever. There is so much stuff here. I just kind of have to keep going through it because there's a ton. And it's actually at a really good price too. I think for $33 and you get like pretty much all of this stuff. Like it's a ton of stuff. They have terrain, they have minis, they have scatter terrain, and their terrain is like, as you can see, you can do anything with this terrain. Like it can do so much here. I get very big Skyrim vibes from it myself, and that's not a bad thing, I suppose. This guy right here, by the way, the Harbinger of Death, looks like the Nightbringer from Warhammer for the Necrons. Same kind of concept, which is a cool concept, so I dig that. Very, very cool minis. I love armored Valkyries, but anytime you see Valkyries that aren't armored, that's a lot more rare. So I really appreciate when that's the case as well. These shapeshifters, by the way, again, I love the different like states of shapeshifting that they're in. Very cool. Look at this freaking hill. I mean, it's just everything here is amazing. They are doing some quality work here. Looks super cool. Bogatyr Printables is also having a campaign. They have another 22 days on this one. A much more modest kind of entry where it's mostly just people, but they've really kind of set it to like different factions. And I really liked, everybody does goblins, but I really liked this kind of miniature seeing from the goblins, or even like a fully kind of nicely robed one like that. A lot of times you just don't see them like that. And so it's really nice to see that difference that you're kind of not used to. They also have a lot of turtles, which I always think they just look fun with their little heads that they can put back in in their shells like that. It's just a fun look for them. Mimicry Death has 19 days to go. They've only gotten 224. I wanted to show this because it looks cool. It's a little expensive, and I think that's what's keeping a lot of people away. It's $44 for this, but it is very cool. So you get like this cool wagon in different parts in the wagon rider, which is very usable in a lot of things. Then you get the wagon that is about to like consume your soul. Very cool mimic. Very cool idea. Very cool miniature. I think they did a great job on this as a mimic. They have the animals both alive and dead and in various states of death. They have the ladder mimic. Again, looks cool. I actually really appreciate the back of it. And I think it'd be cool if like you came across and all you saw was that, like, hey, there's something weird there. And then see if you remember, oh, by the way, that ladder was what was on the other side, that ladder you just used. Whoops. The outhouse, don't go to the bathroom in there because, yeah, that bad things happen. They have some cool stretch goals I don't think we'll see. It's just not funding as well as it should, and that's probably because of the price. It is $44 is quite a bit for this, but it does look cool for sure. Last one, Anime Dungeons. This is another interesting one. I think this would fund more if they came out, I think, on their best foot forward, but I don't think they do. They actually come out, I think, with some of the more plain or not quite as good looking ones, in my opinion. I get very nice. So a lot like this right here. I love the style of this. This just looks cool and interesting and different than I'm used to. So I really like that. Look at this tiefling monk. Looks fantastic. What a great sculpt. You have some goofy goblins. I love the sneaking rogue here with the bear trap right there. Again, just really, really well done. I love the jelly cube. That's always fun. They have some slimes too. Look at this guy like, trying to stomp on this person. Like, that looks awesome. Again, some great sculpts there with the tiefling fighter. They have this guy here. He's like, tongue out, like falling asleep. And then the other guy listening, right? The other guy picking his nose. Just other guy looking far off. Fantastic sculpt. I love it. I love how different that is. I love the kind of seriousness but goofiness to it. So they're like muscly and ripped and have all these blades and stuff. But then they're just being goofy too. And I think that's great. The old guy fighter is fantastic. Look at this owl with the big eyes and the big feathers and stuff. Very cool style. I dig that. There's the slimes. They look great too. There's a lot of really nice stuff here, actually. Look, again, with the silly poses and stuff that you just getting blasted with a hole in them. Just fun stuff. This was actually quite impressive. The more I scrolled, the more impressed I really was with all this. Oh, they also have an Uncle Jesse miniature, which is pretty cool too. So, all right, guys, that's it. That is what's coming up that I'm looking at for February. Let me know what else I could be looking at or what you want to share with the community. I'll be here again next month with another set of really cool things that are coming out that hopefully will help you pick out which ones you want to follow and which ones you want to get. All right, take care, guys. Thanks so much, and I'll talk to you guys again really soon. Bye, guys.